Hello, stamping friends. It's Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's May 10th, 2023. It's time for Wednesday night's Facebook Live. And this month, I'm continuing to work on using the scraps of designer series paper and cardstock and die cuts that I have from all of my supplies, and making the most of my money by using even these scraps and making beautiful cards. So glad you could join me tonight. Remember, as you are coming aboard, to please sign in, let me know where you're watching from, and also use the comments if you have any questions or if you have any feedback on the projects that you're seeing. So I want to go ahead and flip the camera down, and let's take a look at this pile of scraps and see what we can do with them. So you know the game here. It just takes a minute, and not even a minute, 10 seconds. And we'll be looking at the desktop. And let me get the computer caught up with us as well. We'll just refresh this look, and we should be good to go. Oh, it's showing me a different picture than the one I want. Okay. Let's see. Okay, sorry for the delay here. It is taking me. There we go. Okay. So you should be seeing my desktop. I'm seeing it as well here. And I can see some comments. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Billy. Carol. Zana. Nice to see you all. All right, let's go ahead. And so what I'm talking about, and if you want to stamp along and use these ideas, you know, it will be easy enough, but here's just one basket that I have. Now, mostly the scraps that I'm going to use tonight are just solid cardstock. I do have a couple that are designer series paper, and so you'll get a peek at what to do with that as well. But I think you saw the picture that I shared with all of these kind of different widths, different sizes, different colors. But I've organized them a bit so that we will be able to see a few more ideas than me digging through the scraps. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to use card bases that are going like this for the most part tonight, just to encourage you to sometimes do. These are 4 1/4 by 11, and then they are scored at 5 1/2. So this is a half a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock, but it just opens in a portrait fashion. So just something a little different. And then for this one, I just had a 4 by 5 1/4. I might have had to cut a little off card front, so I'm going to just glue this on the card, and I'm just going to kind of brush this with the glue because you don't need a lot, and it's the fastest way to glue on a card front and still be able to adjust it just a little bit. All right, and then this was easy. I just took one scrap, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue it down on the front. Kind of down on the bottom here a little bit. Try to make sure that is straight. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off the side here where it's hanging over a little bit. And I like to use a longer handle scissors to do that. Okay. So we've got the place to put a perfect sentiment, and let's see, I think this is going to match Parakeet Party. And I'm using the Go To Greetings Happy Birthday here. Oh, and because this is a big stamp and a sentiment, I'm going to do it upside down here so I don't take the chance of tipping that stamp into the ink. Oops, this is such a brand new ink pad though. It's going around the edges, so you always got to check that. I'm going to wipe that off around the edges so I don't get that on my cardstock. That's the thing with the red cling. And it happens with the photopolymer too, but not as much as it does with the red cling stamps. All right. So let's go ahead and just stamp our happy birthday on here. Sorry, I need to, it's very tight as far as getting it all on the white. Let's hope I did it. Sorry for sticking my head in your view for a minute there. All right, just made it. So there's our happy birthday, and guess what? Our card is done. How simple is that? And I used white cardstock, and you know, I had that piece of Designer Series paper in a box of Designer Series paper scraps. And you could do one of two things. You could make this go to the edges. I did like it because it looks like it's part of the frame. Or you could have cut it down just a little bit to match the size of the card front. So those are just choices you could make. All right, we've got one done. Let me show you another one that I made ahead of time that was very simple. So I just took a piece of solid cardstock that I had. I don't know about you, but I always have these card fronts just cut. And I really liked this Evening Evergreen and just white. And this time you can see that I cut the edges just to the end of the card front. I did do different sizes. And then I used the same sentiments in the Go To Greetings. In the different smaller font. And isn't that nice, just for a note? And you can decorate the inside if you want, but I'm really focusing on card fronts for you tonight. So that was very fast. Let's see, for a third one, let's go ahead, and this time I'm going to start with Night of Navy card base, and this is cut to the 4 by 5 1/4. And I have this pile of tan strips that were from one of the projects I did. And I thought that I would go ahead and use these. And I think, you know, I might be able to. I'm going to try to get 5 of them on here. So I am going to get out my trimmer. Let me just set the other cards we've already completed to the side. I'll bring them back out at the end for you. But I want to cut these into 4-inch. I'm going to keep the width of these, but I want to cut them into 4-inch pieces so that they'll go straight across on the card front, but not overlap. Okay, so we'll cut. There's 1 4. These are kind of a thick craft paper. They're kind of cool. Another one. 4. And we'll prepare 5 here and see how that goes. Or maybe I'll just do the 6 since I have it sitting here. All right. So now let me just line these up and see how they're going to fit on here. What I want to do is have a center piece that I'm going to actually put my sentiment on. Oh, you know what? They're actually so thick they'll only have 4. Let's just check if I can get it with an odd number in here if I move them closer. No, it's not going to work. All right, so we're going to go with 4. And before I glue these all down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp what will be the one I'm going to put second from the top. I'm going to use my Night of Navy ink. And this one I'm going to make a thanks. Now this is photopolymer, so I am going to grab my Pierce mat here to stamp this. Hi Betty, hi Sharon. All right. And I'm just going to center this. And we've got our thanks. All right, got that cleaned off. All right, now I learned from last night doing a lattice card about the adhesive on the back of these strips to do it faster. So I'm going to do use my Tombow adhesive. Oh, I only have one right here. Well, we'll use it until it runs out. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start from each side of the card front so that as I put these down, I can keep some sense of putting them equidistant from each other. And I am making it skinnier on the edges on purpose. Adds a little more interest. Okay. And then when I do these, I'll keep them. Okay. So let's just So I'm not measuring. If you want to measure, you sure can, but I think this is going to be just fine. And there we go. And you know, this would really be nice if I had a large piece of this cardstock. I don't think I do. Let's see what I have sitting here. Whites, blues. Yeah, let's go with white. And I'm going to keep going with the ones that I have cut like this. And I'll just center it. And put my glue on the back. I hope that this shows you too. Keeping this size strips, really nice. Look at how fast it comes together, you know, to make that card. And I am purposefully not putting additional images on here, and you know that you could to add more decorations, but I'm trying to keep things very simple and quick for you. Okay, so then we've got that pack of strips we've done something with. We'll set them off to the side. So next I have a set of kind of a mixture of pink cardstock and designer series paper. Jan, hello. Shar, hello. And this one I've already done, so let me show you what I decided to do here with this pile. Is I decided to do a mixture of the designer series paper in 2 places, put it under the strips, and then put them together, and then actually did leave enough space in the center here to stamp with Magenta Madness my sentiment. And that went together very quick too, but I think it's really pretty. And I'd have to dig a little bit, but I think some pink hearts on the inside would be a beautiful inside for this card. But once again, just a couple of strips, you know, 4 inches across, and this is an inch, I think, and then using the cardstock, which I think they're either 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. So that is another example. And I have enough scraps here probably to make 2 more cards to match that. All right, so let's look at another. So here I have a black 4 inch by 5 1/4. I'm going to use some white strips here. And kind of I have 2 that are the same size, and this one is skinnier. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of put these on the bottom. Put the skinny one in the middle here. I find when I'm doing this, just using different size strips and putting different amounts of space in between them gives you all kinds of different looks. So I'm going to put this closer together and kind of rub off the excess adhesive I have on there. Okay. Then I have the other one here. Oh, Mary, you're so kind. Thank you. Betty, hello. And I'm going to put this one, try to do the same closeness. There we go. Okay. So we've got the bottom. Then I thought I would use a larger strip up here. And I'm going to just go ahead and put that about right here. This is actually going to be the focus. And I want to put another color to accent it. So I found that I had one of these bright green. Gonna put that close. Okay. And then I wanted to do a sentiment, but I decided that I would put this inside just kind of to draw the interest towards it. So let's go ahead and stamp on this. And let's see, did I have we're going to stamp Time to Celebrate, and I'm just going to use the black ink since I have the black background. Right. And this doesn't require the Pierce mat because it's a cling stamp. There we've got our Time to Celebrate. Thanks, Sharon. Glad you like how this is looking. All right, let me just close my ink pad here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this strip. I'm going to use the whole thing. Oh, there goes the end of this tape runner. Let's use our Stampin' Seal. Okay. And let me center this on here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim around the card base here, or the card front that I have. Okay, we'll do that on the other side here. Okay, get all of these out of our way. And I'll take just another white card base and be gluing this on. So let me just grab my glue. Hi, Betty. There's a couple of you Bettys on here. Okay, so got a little piece of adhesive on here, being stubborn. So there we go with another one. And once again, inside, I would do something in the bright green and or just put a black sentiment inside, and you're good to go. All right. And the last one here. So I'm going to start with a white 4 by 5 1/4. Now this one is a set of 6 by 6 scraps that I had in, gosh, what was this called? This is Dandy Garden. So this is a couple of years retired set, but I made so many cards and I had so many different kind of scraps, I kept them together. So you might want to think of some of your patterned paper, keeping them together, because you'll be able to do what I'm going to do with this card. So these are all right now 6 inches long. So I kind of left the shorter scraps in here because I want to cut these all down to 5 1/4 because I'm going to put them on this card the long way. Okay, so let's actually, you know what? I'm going to do it this way, the 5 1/4, because I should be able to get more if I do 4 inches across. Yeah, I'm going to do that so you can see more of the patterns. They're so pretty. All right, so what I have to do is I have to just, I can either do this and trim around the edges, or I can decide to trim them now. And I'm just going to trim them now, and that will make it a little easier, I think, because I might want to make some of these thinner. So see, I have a thinner strip here. We'll cut that one at 4 inches. And I'm going to kind of lay these out the way I might like them and then move them around. So here, before I cut this one, I actually want to change this width. I think I want 1 inch of this one. And I'll set this to the side because I might want to do another thinner one of this, but let's try to get as many different patterns as we can that I have available. So we've got that one. And this one, let's do a 1/2 inch. And then I need to get this one to be at 4. Okay. Let's see, this one will be a good 3/4 inch one. Now, I'm not trying to make any special pattern or design with this. You know, I could be more scientific, but this is for fun. We'll make this one 1 inch. Well, since I have this one, let's see, let's make a tiny one of this one. No, I have to go at least 1 row of those little round parts or it's going to look funny. And 4 inches. Hi, Sue. Oh, that sounds so fun, Xana. Good for you. Let's see, how close am I getting to having enough? I'm going to, all right, I'm going to make skinny ones because I want to get these two colors in here. So, okay, got that one. And I might decide to cut, you know, some of these that are real big down. Of course, I love this purple, you know. Let me do 2 of these at 1/4 inch. See if I can squeeze them in. They really kind of pep it up a bit. Now remember, these have other sides too to them. So I even have more patterns available to me. Let's see, and let's just get this one at 4 inches. And I think we have enough to work with. Okay. Now, one of the things as we get started with this, I just want to let you know, so we can go this direction, we could go this direction, and obviously you can do diagonals as well. It's just whatever suits your fancy. So I have my silicone mat here so I can hopefully manage my adhesive a little better. But see how each of these have very pretty sides, so you just got to kind of choose which one you're going to go with. And I'm just going to start, and I am going to, you know, glue them down right away. Okay. And yeah, I like this other side better. And once you get that first strip on, then you can just butt them up against each other. Oops, kind of sent that flying. You know what, before I put that one down, I am going to put a purple one in here. The only benefit of not cutting these ahead of time is you can go a little, you don't have to be matching the edges on the 4-inch side, but I think it works fine. Let's see here. Let's have a yellow be kind of right in the center here. Okay. Go. I kind of like that stripe next to it, so this one I'm going to use the other side of the paper. Let's see about another purple strip here. Right, and our green one. Now, if you don't have a set of paper like this and you just want to use all kinds of you know, paper from different things, you can do that too. I think we'd get a different look every time. So let's see here. I'm going to probably end up having to trim on here. So I'm just going to kind of rub the adhesive off of here before I try to trim it with my scissors. So I would look on the other side here, and you can tell a couple of times. I want a little over there, and then just on the top here. And I'm just going to trim along the top of the card base. And you have to clean your scissors after this. I ended up with an extra purple. Okay. So now you could use any of these colors for a base or use white. Let me see, this one I don't have another one of the other direction cut. I do have one of my, usual ones cut here. So we'll just go ahead and use this white as our card base. And mount that on here. Oh, red, white, and blue for the 4th of July. Wow. Yes, that would be really nice. I'm going to go this way. I want to keep this as the bottom of my card. So now, we can have it open this way, or we can have it open this way. But I went into the scraps that I had for this paper packet and kind of have a couple of choices here. So I did have some stamped from the stamp set. I could just cut this out and, put it here. I've got 2 multicolored squares that are the same. And I could do that. And I could put this in the center. You might think that's a little too busy, but that's an option. Or I could just pop this up. The fact that this is white is pretty boring. Maybe just doing the yellow. What's on the other side? Yeah, maybe just doing that and separates it enough. And I think I will pop it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this square down. Oh yes, you could. I like that idea, Xana. Just using different colored cardstock, using different embossing folders, that would really be beautiful too for a card front. There's so much. So I have, the next couple of weeks for Facebook Live, I'm going to keep showing you different ways to kind of come at this so that you can, have lots of ideas. I'm really excited because one of the things I'm going to show you next week has glitter involved. So that's going to be fun and messy. But it's going to be worth it. And we'll try to keep it in the craft room and not throughout my house. I find these little backs of dimensionals all over my house. Oh well, they know a stamper lives here. Oh, trying to get it on. That point is going to peek out on both sides just a little bit. All right, there we go. So let me just bring all those ideas back for you. Oh, and I have one other one I didn't show you yet. So anyway, here is this one finished. Let me bring in one more that I wanted to share. So here is just different shades of blue done at the diagonal. They're all different sizes. I love this larger stamp, to stamp my greeting. But then I thought, why stop here and put just a little bit inside? And then I would use a navy blue pen to write in here. So anyway, let me slide these things over so that I can set these all out for you. I see I have more room here. But look at what we were able to do in 35 minutes. And if you did anything coordinated, or if you like the eclectic look, what a beautiful gift set this would be for someone. Here's my challenge to you. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this one yet. This is the first thing I did when I was trying to create this session. And this is all different sizes of white, and you might not be able to see it. Let me put it up closer. Can you see that I have done different white leftovers? Because I don't know about you, I have a ton of these, right? So I put them across there. On the inside, I did 3 different strips on the inside. Now, I didn't know, to add interest, do I just want to put a large image on the front? Do I want to go after this with one of my blending brushes and see how going across the ridges looks if I am making a background? So I'm going to think on this before next week, and I would be interested in your ideas too. I haven't decided what to do, and since this was kind of picky work, I don't want to just do it and then go, oh, I don't like that. So this is going to be a challenge for the next week to think about, and I'll have you think about it. And if you come up with an idea, go ahead and email me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com and share your idea, and maybe that'll be the idea that I do on here for next week. So that's kind of just a fun thought. Could I emboss it? I was going to say that too. You're both thinking the same thing, Sue and Zana. Okay, well, let me just go ahead. I will be sharing this information in next week's email, and I'll put that email address when I put this picture here on my Facebook page, so that if you don't have your name on my email list, you can get all these pictures of these ideas and general highlights of this Facebook Live. And so also, let me just remind you that if you liked this evening, the class that I did last night using different paper scraps, all different kinds of paper scraps, you can still register for that before Friday. I'm going to close the registration to that class on Friday. So if you go down a couple of posts, you'll see the Scraptacular class, and you can still register, like I said, through Friday at midnight. So anyway, I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight on Plum Crazy Stamping's Facebook Live, and I'll look forward to being back next Wednesday with more on scraps. And remember, we're going to do glitter and some other things with little pieces, and then we'll see what comes up with the challenge on that white paper strip card. So happy stamping, friends. Take care. Bye-bye now.